Irving's younger brother.
About Irv. When I used to visit him, was it Rochdale? Is that Rochdale? I watched him work, interact with kids there.
Yeah.
And he really was a superb human being in that way. So I wrote this little poem, and actually this is for his 90th birthday. It's not a poem, it's sort of words and poem combined. It's feeling for the people, young and old, and those in between is what he's about. People see Irv and call him a proper gent, for his concern for the community is at large. Is part of his cement. Whether it's a pothole to be fixed or a vegetable garden to be planted, people about him take it for granted that it will muster the effort, pitch right in, and help novices get started, for they know Irv to be truly warm-hearted. Irv in his garden grew vegetables in relationships with the full spectrum of youngsters and oldsters. He followed the young kids to adulthood. A youngster passes in his view, their eyes meet, Irv will ask him to take a seat. And for sure, a conversation will ensue. He smiles at this youngster, and the smiles bounce back and forth. The conversation you watch shows a deep respect on each of their parts, and you recognize that a relationship is being built and has a running start that will grow as the years go by and rise high in importance on the curve way up on their life's chart. The people of this section of Queens smile at Irv, and they walk on by and seem to be saying, friend, with a gentle sigh. I remember going to Irv and Andrew's home and eating there and having a beautiful meal and interacting with Ange and her interest in astronomy always used to come out. In fact, when she was in the home, I always used to have conversations with her about things. I would read a book on astronomy and we'd have a conversation about different things, and she right up until the last part of her life, she really was very sharp and really a superb person to interact with, and she'd pick up on things that I would discuss with her. We discuss. She would take trips to the let's say to different shopping centers by bus, and I would discuss with her. I say the way to take on looking at things in ways that you normally don't look at things. Like if you look at shapes, look at the particulars of the shape, the way the lines flow, the color, and we would discuss that back and forth. And I remember she said to me, I've tried it, and it really is a wonderful way of really seeing things anew. And we had really long discussions in that way, and it was really a wonderful interaction. And I had the same kind of thing with her. We had long conversations. And I sort of want to end this now by singing a song that I sung to her a few times. It's called Santa Lucia. Let's see if I can get the
What's the backup girls behind you?
yeah. I can use that. Yeah. It's like this.
I'll do it.
I don't think I need that.
Yeah, you do.
Just distort his voice.
Yeah, all right.
Then you can talk.
Okay. Santa Lucia. Now neath the silver moon, ocean is glowing, o'er the calm billows, soft winds are blowing, here balmy breezes blow, your joys invite us, and as we gently grow, all things delight us. Hark how the angels, hark how the sailors cry,
high, joyously echoes night. Santa Lucia, Santa Lucia, home of fair poesy, realm of pure harmony. Santa Lucia, Santa Lucia.
My name is Ed Miller. I live in Building 6 in Rochdale, and I've had the joy of knowing Angie, I'm getting a senior moment, and Irv, Angie and Irv. I'm that much of a senior that I can really be excused. In any case, what you have seen here and what you have taken with you are the babies of Angie. And I'm happy to say I was the midwife. She was a phenomenal person, a phenomenal artist. There's no question about that. And she was humble. She sat down on the side of the art class, never called attention to herself. And as soon as she opened up her box and set up her palette, she got to work industriously. The part that I played was at first substantial. When we lived in Rochdale and we had the art class in the Rochdale Community Center together with Renee and other members, people from Rochdale, we did work that needed a little instruction, little cueing here and there. I brought in bottles and fruit and stuff for still life, and she progressed magnificently. A short while later, we moved to the Jamaica Presbyterian Church of Jamaica, and we had a much larger group of artists, and they were fantastic artwork producers. One of the guests is looking through a book that I put together of photographs of the artwork of the students. I had the idea that when an artist gives away their painting, it's gone, it's out of their reach. But if they had a photograph of the painting, it would be there forever. So I would get permission from each of them, and I would photograph their artwork. And so I have this treasure of a collection, and the greatest of the collection that I have is Angie's work. I knew Irving because of Angie, and because we were neighbors actually in Rochdale. I would meet him most of the time. I would meet him at the HIP Center. That's the medical office in Rochdale, where we would be sitting and waiting for several hours before we would be taken care of. He loved to schmooze. We would talk about everything under the sun. Sometimes he even threw in some Yiddish, and we really had a big fun time over that. More than what I've said, I don't know how I can't really add more to our experience, our love, our history with again a medal. Oh yeah, no. With our wonderful people, and thank you for the opportunity to be here.